Hello and welcome to my channel. So this video is a quick video just to explain what's the difference between Agile and Waterfall methodologies. So I'm just going to quickly explain the differences. So the main differences you can see is that Agile has minimal planning, while on the Waterfall side there's careful planning that takes place. This is mainly because in Waterfall it's a lot more structured, which follows on by that. So it's like a structured cycle. So a lot of detail goes into it, a lot of preparation goes into it. However, on the Agile side, it's a lot more flexible. So a lot more changes can take place within the actual sprint cycle or release cycle, as well as the following sprint and releases. The difference also you can see is that there's smaller teams, like for smaller projects, smaller teams. However, on the Waterfall side, as it's a lot more structured, it's a larger team and it's a lot more comprehensive. On an Agile side, the mindset is more a product mindset. However, on the Waterfall side, it's a lot more project mindset. And then, of course, in an Agile methodology, it's kind of like minimal or less paperwork required in regards to design, initiation documents, any kind of documentation. There's a lot more less compared to a Waterfall, which is a more extensive and more comprehensive documentation. Once I show you the next page, it'll show you exactly how the design works. But basically, the Agile is like a short feedback loop, so you get the feedback a lot more quicker than Waterfall methodology, because as it's more structured, you won't get any feedback until it's at the testing phase. And of course, due to that, there's less scope for changes to take place. However, on the Agile side, changes can take place within the sprint, as well as after the sprint or the next sprint you can make the changes. So it is a lot more adaptable. Also, it's efficient and timely risk preventing. However, on the Waterfall side, it's more risk adverse. There's a lot more transparency in Agile because you know what you're doing and what you're expecting. However, on the Waterfall side, there's a lack of transparency because there's so much going on and it's so structured, loads of documentation. You won't really know until right at the end if it actually proceeds and works in your favor or not, or if the product is actually a lot more clear. So that shows that basically on the Agile side, it's a lot more unclear in regards to requirements, because you can actually change them as you're going along, by release. However, on the Waterfall side, they are fixed requirements, and that's how it's going to be until the end of the actual cycle. And then, of course, you go from there. The next screen actually shows you a good example of how the method works for Agile as well as Waterfall. As you can see on the Waterfall side, I'm just going to show my mouse. It's in stages, so you can't go to the next stage until the first stage is complete, and you can't go from design back to discover if it has to be completed stage by stage. That's why it's all structured. So on a Waterfall side, everyone has different kind of structures, but this is just a good example that I've seen, is that you start with discovery. So that's basically the business requirements. You understand what the business requirements are. Then you'll actually design a technical design on exactly how you're going to implement that. So once you've done the requirements, you've done the design, then you can actually develop it and configure it and do the testing. Once that's done, then your testing takes place, and that will confirm if it's actually complete, and you can launch the product. So it's a stage by stage process. However, Agile is a lot more on a quicker kind of process. So you can see that it will be like a quick discover, design, develop, test, sprint by sprint. Then it would be sprints. Each sprint is roughly about 2 weeks. So you can see that every 2 weeks this changes. However, on a waterfall, it can vary. It could take from 6 months, couple of months to a year, even longer, depending how big the project is. On the agile side, it's a lot more quicker, so it can just be done in a quick cycle for ready for the next sprint, and can carries on. Hopefully, this has given you an insight of how waterfall and agile methodologies work. This was just a quick video just to kind of explain that to you. If you have any questions or would like more information,